This is all you need, teachers. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Part 1, the lab has 3 parts really quick. So part 1, make the turbine. This is going to be the toughest part, but we'll walk you through it. So we give you half of a manila folder, just like this. It's nice and thick. So the first thing the kids are going to do is take those scissors, and they're going to cut it into a square, more or less. So these things are about 22 centimeters across, or 8.5 inches. So cut it into a square shape, which is going to end up looking like this. And then what they do is draw the diagonals, so you have a nice cross in the middle, and that gives you 4 triangles on here. Okay, so then what they're going to do is in the upper right corner, draw a dot in each of the triangles, so 1 dot in each triangle, and draw them on the back too. That's going to help later on. And then also just little hash marks in the middle, maybe about a thumbnail out from the middle. And that's important for this step. This is still part of part 1, make your turbine, obviously. So now what we do is they take those scissors, again, and they're going to cut along each of these lines, so four cuts, and they're going to stop at the hash marks. Okay, it's really important they don't cut all the way to the middle, and they leave a pretty good center space for the turbine. So they cut to the hash marks, and then what we do, obviously it would look flatter to start with, but I want them to take each corner of their turbine and fold it to the center, and first stick the push pin through the dot. So they have the dot on the back, that's why it was important, and they stick the push pin through there, okay? Then grab the next one, and this is going to be a little tough, so if they want to work in pairs at this point, or you know, team up to make these turbines, that might help, because you need a couple hands in here. And then you're going to take each of the corners, so stick that push pin through each of the dots, and then you have it looking like this, and then they can use their thumb to hold the top of the push pin in each of the corners, and then stick it right through the middle where the lines meet, okay? And again, this is a little tough. This will probably be the most awkward part of the lab, but it's worth it because then we take our dowel, which is right over here, and our stick, if you will. Take out the push pin, and we insert the turbine that we just made into our stick. So they can just stick in their left hand or however they want to do it, and go ahead and push it in. And it's a little stiff, so they're really going to have to work to get it nice and fixed in. And so then that is the end of part 1, make your turbine. Awesome. Super quick, super easy. So we're going to set that aside, and then we're going to move on to the part 2, make your bottle base. Okay? So this is your bottle base. So in each of your kits, we have a plastic bottle with 2 holes in it. And so if you come and zoom in a little bit, you can see that there's a hole opposite sides, right here and right here. So we want everyone to lay their bottle along the edge of the table just like this. And again, just take your tape, okay, and tape the bottle down so that the holes are pretty much horizontal, so that if I were looking through them, they're pointed up just a little bit, okay, but pretty much horizontal. And then we'll go ahead and take another piece of tape, and right here in the center of that is we call it the back. It'll be labeled the back. It's just a small square piece of paper, and you're going to tape it loosely along the back of the bottle because that's going to act as the back of our turbine. And now, believe it or not, we're already at part 3. Insert your turbine into your bottle base. Pretty self-explanatory. So we take this finished turbine product. It's like a cookie show. Everything's already done for you. And so we have the string was already attached in the kit, and it was wound around the stick. And so all the students have to do first is tie on the weight. So just string it through the center here, this little circular metal disc, and then tie a couple knots so it doesn't come off. And then what we want them to do, this is the final piece, is just go ahead and insert that stick into the bottle through those holes, and so that it's just touching this back right here. So that's going to act just to make sure that the turbine doesn't slide through the bottle. And now we're actually ready to try it out. So let's test it. Let's see if it works. Cross your fingers. Okay, so we're going to take the fan that we have, and we're just going to turn it on and aim it right at the center of the turbine, and you can see that it's already winding up that weight. You can zoom in on the weight and see it being raised. And so for this part of the lab, this is where the actual experimentation comes into play. So we'll have one student timing it, so they'll start the timer as soon as we turn on the fan, and then the other student will be holding the fan, and then we can measure the string at the end or at the beginning, and we can see, using the distance that the weight travels And the length of the string, distance over time, is velocity. So there you go. There you have it. We have our velocity, and then we can also talk later a little bit about the equations like kinetic energy, so 1/2 mv squared, and we'll answer some questions at the end of the lab.